Boomer's Brain Trust, my favorite program. There's a whole other hour coming up next, by the way, so stick around right here on many of these same radio and TV stations. You can watch us. Why do they play that song? We were just talking about the medical marijuana thing. Anyway, it's not a theme show. But we're here for another hour, so if you have any questions, we're going to get to Professor Plum again next hour. You can find us boomersbraintrust.com. That's the website, boomersbraintrust.com. Email us there. You can get podcasts and articles and just about anything else. boomersbraintrust.com. You can also find us Facebook and Twitter, hashtag AskTheBrainTrust. Well, you know, time was when social connections were not just done in person, face-to-face, but they also had rules. People went to classes, you might recall, to learn how to deal properly with others in a social setting. These days, though, in sort of an odd twist to the Eugene O'Neill concept of a strange interlude, people can socialize online and present an entirely different persona to just about anyone who's willing to listen. This is what they do. They can hold up whatever mask they like or be anyone they want, or in a more common version through, say, Facebook, they can present only the best sides of themselves. I think it's kind of like having a personal public relations department. You can do your own damage control and make everyone see you in the most positive light that your imagination can dream up. So the anonymous nature of online socializing makes people more bold, more brash, and I think less sensitive to other people's needs and feelings. But really, the question has to be asked, just how real are these new kinds of online social connections? Nile is here with us, a member of the Extended Brain Trust, of course, and our expert in the field of social media, LinkedIn, and technology of all kinds. He's going to help us answer some of these questions to a boomer generation that's really, honestly, nowhere near as steeped in online culture as generations that have followed us. Hey, Nile, welcome back to the program. Thanks for coming on again.
Hey, it's good to be here. Thanks for having me back.
Hey, you bet. So here's a broad question for you. How have social media sites like Facebook and Twitter, how have they changed our world from a social standpoint? Is face-to-face communication even needed anymore?
Well, everybody that I talk to, and obviously I'm in the social media world a lot, so most of the people I talk to are heavy into the social media world, but everybody agrees that while social media is great, it's a good way to stay in touch and meet people, there's still nothing like the face-to-face meetings. You just get so much more, so much faster, and a lot of times you just can't get problems solved online, whether it's social media or email or whatever it may be, that you could get solved very quickly face-to-face.
And Nile, it seems to me that would be one of the basic differences between, say, a real-life connection and then one that you have through social media, is just the fact that you aren't able to hash things out as well when you're online as opposed to actually being right up close and personal with somebody.
Well, you know, I think there's a pro and a con to that position. You know, when we look at social media connections, versus face-to-face or real-world connections, whatever we'd like to call those people. You know, I always ask the question because, believe it or not, this is one topic or one question that comes up frequently. The question I like to ask is, so how do you know how real are your face-to-face or non-social media connections? You know, a lot of times we think we really know somebody and we get into a tense situation or a problem situation and they just react in ways that we would have never expected. So, yeah, I think, like I said, there's pros and cons to both. We see a different side of people face-to-face than we do online and vice versa.
Well, we really do. And of course, as you just said, you're seeing somebody face-to-face. You don't know how real that person is either. Sometimes you can spot phoniness more easily face-to-face. But, of course, I see, Niall, especially kids in their teens and their 20s, they don't even talk on the phone anymore. Even though they have a phone, everybody has a phone, they can talk. They would prefer, from what I've seen, is to just text. It's as if they're almost afraid now to either meet them face to face or talk to them on the telephone. Do you see that at all? Is this a trend?
Oh, I see that a lot, especially with the teens, and this is a growing percentage of the teen population that are tech savvy. They don't want to talk. As a matter of fact, they do everything they can to avoid talking. They absolutely want to text, and if they can't solve the problem by texting, they're not going to solve the problem.
So I know, Niall, back in the 50s and the 60s when boomers were growing up, we used to hear, you know, TV is ruining the family dinner conversation. It didn't necessarily ruin it so much as it did change it. So in this way, do you see things getting better or worse or just different now?
Well, this is actually something I see getting worse, and I could even talk about my own family. We'll sit down at a meal, and my wife and myself and 2 kids, and I'll look up, and everybody is on a mobile device, and nobody's talking to each other at the table. As a matter of fact, sometimes to get my wife's attention at the same table, I have to send her a message.
Yeah, no. Isn't that now? Hey, we were just joking about that off the air. We were just saying that, or maybe it was on the air. And I found this as I'm sitting at dinner with we had the 4 of us together, my 2 grown daughters and me. We're sitting at a booth at a restaurant. Just somehow all 4 of us were doing something on our phones, and my older daughter said, one of us has to get off. We can't all 4 of us be on. This is embarrassing. So now you're really well connected, I know, to the LinkedIn website. How does a site like that help people connect in an actual useful way? Because there are good ways to use it.
Well, there are. You've talked to me many times, and you know that one of the things that I preach is in the social media world, be transparent. And people are fearful of that a lot because some people are going to like you and some people aren't going to like you. And you have to understand that's okay. Not everybody's going to like you. But the thing that's so beautiful about the social media world is when you're transparent, you're yourself, and you're just open and communicating, you find more people like you that you resonate with. And you're able to identify and develop deeper relationships more quickly. And, of course, in business, you tend to do business with people that you know, like, and trust. We've heard that 1,000 times. So as people get to know you, they begin to like you. That trust comes with it automatically, and it's easier to do business.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. I wish in some ways that maybe teenagers or 20-year-olds who really need this sort of, I think, practice, for lack of a better word, I wish they would listen to something like that, but I think it's hard to get them to believe that,
Well, everything happens, in cycles, and, I think we're going through a cycle right now where it's more popular for the younger generation to not talk and to use social media, use texting, use things like that. At some point in time, we're going to start to see that shift where it's just the new current fad to really talk more face-to-face and maybe actually pick up the phone and call somebody.
Well, not to sound like an old person, but Nile, I really hope you're right. I really hope you're right. So your website is at LinkedInFocus.com, right?
It is, and of course, we give great LinkedIn advice and social media advice.
Yep.
Telling you how to get great business results with all these tools that are fun, that you could get lost in, but also could be used for business purposes.
Well, I'll tell you what, next time we have you on, I want to talk about that as well, because I know a lot of people use that website, LinkedIn, to get jobs. Hey, thanks again, Nile. Appreciate it. All right. Nile Nickel, great stuff, as always. Of course, what else would you expect on the Boomers Brain Trust? More great stuff is coming up just ahead. We got another hour of this. Stick around. Johnny Dean and Dinah Smith. We are coming right back.